Alrighty, got a quick video for you here. Didn't really plan to make this one, but this was kind of a bitch, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw it out there. Clown dude, what's his name? This old clown or whatever, I don't know. He's got a video on this, and he burnt out the control arm bushings, and that way definitely works, but then you gotta do a hacksaw trick. You know, you could burn them out, and I'm pretty sure, you know, once you get it out, you can go ahead and use a ball joint press. I mean, I did this one. I didn't burn them out. I was trying to go another route. So basically what I'm doing is I have a 2-jaw puller and I have a 3-jaw puller. And basically this one went a lot better than the first one. All I had to do, and again, this is an S10 control arm. G bodies, I believe, are identical. B bodies, you get in a very similar thing, but it's the camber or whatever the hell it is a little bit different. But one side's got this metal. So what I've figured out, you start on the side that's got this little metal washer thing. Try to get in on there a little bit quicker. And when I did it on the first side, basically I use the press and it pushes the, what do you call this part? It pushes it. Sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long day. You can tell by my mess. I've been trying different shit. But it'll push to where this fatter side here basically bottoms out on this frame. And on my other one, I used the 3-jaw once I got it to this point, and I was able to pull it off, okay? Round 2, I took, you know, Mike and Ike over here, put a little heat on there. I didn't burn up the bushing, but I just heated it up right in here to get it to expand a little bit. And this second time around, it came out pretty damn good. I mean, you can see, there you go. I just pulled it off, right? Now the cup's still going to be on. I mean, I got the bushing out, you know, one piece. That kind of pushed out. I did add a little bit of oil, like as I was pushing. Actually, I should back up. On this one, I started off on this side, and I pushed it this way, got about an inch so that you could see this over here. I oiled that. I released the 3-jaw, let it go back in, and that probably helped it out. But I don't know. I wish I could have recorded it better for you. I don't have my tripod with me. I just, you know, there's a lot of fuckheads out there, and they want to show you how to put them in. But nobody wants to show you how to take them out, you know, and a fucking Down syndrome baby on crack could fucking put them in. Take them out. How many fuckers do you think are taking it to Midas to take them out? Show us how to take them out. And no, it doesn't count if you got a truck arm that doesn't have a ball joint that's huge where you can just fit the regular ball joint press in. You got to fuck with this a little bit, you know? I mean, the nuts on the side are on pretty tight. You basically just kind of do like that. Oh, I'm on my magnet down there. You do like that. You get the nuts off. You know, it'll have that little retainer washer. It's the nuts. But at any rate, yeah, that does the trick. So I'm sorry this is a shitty video, and I'm just more or less trying to give you an idea. If you haven't thought to fuck with 2-jaw or, you know, 3-jaw, my 2-jaw didn't hold very good. You could see I had to ratchet strap it to get it to stay on. I mean, it does okay with the ratchet strap, but I mean, you may have a better selection of those things. I only got a couple, and my other ones all get smaller. So, but yeah, basically, once you do it like this, I will be able to push this through, okay, like I did on that one. And once I push it through, well, actually, you could see I don't even have to keep pushing. Look. Let me get a better angle here. Bam. Just like that. Then, when you go to use the ball joint press, let me try to show you. You can actually fish it through the hole like that. See what I'm saying? And then that'll stick out the hole, and you can do both sides. The cups will press out nicely. That asshole with the fucking air hammer, all I can say is he must have taken fresh ball joints and did it, because, I mean, granted I'm not using my big compressor right now, but I mean, I was hitting it with 90, and all it did is mutilate the fucking metal. You know what I mean? Granted, his shit was like, I don't know, a 2000, and this is a 92, but still, I mean, that shit was in there good. So, yeah, that's basically what you want to do. Man, I feel bad that I'm not going to show you the cups. You know what? When I actually get it all chucked up and I get the cups on there, I'll splice that into this video here, and then you can at least get an idea for how we're going to do the cups. But right now my shit's a mess, so I'm probably going to like reorganize, and then I'll press those cups out. But there you go. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. I lied. I didn't clean up my fucking mess yet. We'll do this first. Took a minute. If you had an extra hand, it's a little easier to keep all the cups in place. But at any rate, now you can see what I'm talking about, okay? Now that we have the bushing out on this side, you can actually get the worm mechanism, the worm drive, through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like literally right inside this side. So I got my socket on, got my extension, and basically, you know, I got the regular, you know, OEM ball joint kit that's, you know, all in shambles right now. But that one little cup that you probably never use for anything, unless if you're doing like a fucking Chevy Sprint ball joint, I don't know. It fits on here, so it must be made for that. You know, and you'll know because it'll have the end that's, you know, sized to fit in this hole. There you go. Kind of like, not like this one. I thought here we go. Kind of like this. You know, it's got that little ridge right there that'll fit right into your C-clamp. So, it's not the best fit with this piece. This is just that little, small little cup that doesn't have a hole. But ironically, the part that sticks up is about the diameter of this. I wish I had something a little better. I mean, the geometry's not perfect. But, well, let's see what we do here. You know, I already got it set. Since we're going to be cranking clockwise, you know, go ahead and set this up so it's already banging. Because if it's down here, it's going to want to swing and shit's going to shift on you. But, let's see if I can do it one-handed. Normally, I'd like to brace it with my hand and show you what's going to happen here. Yeah, it's not easy without a tripod. Boom, hear that first pop? Snap, crackle, motherfucking pop. Like vaporizing a fucking crack rock. Charlie Sheen style. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to hold the camera back. Oh yeah, look already how much. See that? Oh yeah, there she goes. Right there. Right there. Bam! And guess what? All you're going to do then, you're going to take it off, and you're just going to rotate it and do the same thing to the other side. And man, you are good to go. So, let's see. Could I hold the camera and take this off and let you see it without dropping it? Maybe. If I hold it with my teeth, right? Alright. Let's see if I can grip the case with my teeth here. There you go. So that's the one that we used on the inside, right? And then that's the little cup that we used. Okay? And look at that. She'll come right out. Right out. Rubber and all on that one. That one, of course, we had to remove the rubber on. Which, yeah, I think it would work without the heat, but the heat definitely helped it on. You know, it helped it go a little bit quicker. So I would suggest the heat, but I know not everybody has torches. But even if you got like an amateur system going with, you know, like the MAP gas and the propane, or, you know, that'll work. But this is good shit, you know. And then the reason I wanted to show this is because I'm sick and tired of people, you know, taking the easy way out and, oh, I'm not going to do my ball joints and I'm not going to do my control arms. I'm just going to go buy them new. And then next thing you know, you spend $180 or whatever to get new ones. And first off, that shit stamped steel is not like what you're going to get OEM. You know, I mean, look at this. You know, this is off a 92. It's 2018. And I mean, it's solid. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that from an aftermarket stamped piece of metal. You're just not. It's not going to last that long. It's going to deteriorate like a piece of shit. You know? So, I mean, do yourself a favor. Go get yourself the kit. It's a, got too much shit in the way. Upside down, OEM 27089. OEM 27089 ball joint press. And I know you can rent those from the auto parts store. So, I own my stuff. I do too much shit to go renting all the time. But that's an option that you can do. But then you can keep your stock control arms. And if you're not on a time crunch and a money crunch, you can go ahead and clean these up. Paint them. You know, personally, I'd powder coat it if you want to go for the gold. Powder coating's the way to do chassis parts, but none of us have that kind of money, right? If we did, we wouldn't be watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to do it. We'd just buy it all done and tell everybody that we did it. But yeah, save yourself some money, you know, because you figure energy suspension, what I spent on the kit, what I would have spent for the new ones that wouldn't have came with quality energy suspension polyurethane bushings. You know what I mean? The ball joint. I mean, an average ball joint off Rock Auto, $6. I ran those on this S10 for 5 years. And they worked fine. You know, the nylon ones, I literally wanted to test them just to see how durable $6, you know, fucking ball joints are going to be on a 2,800 pound truck. Well, 3 with me in it. But at any rate, you know, I went ahead and got the Pro Forge. That's $20. So look at it that way. $20 for the ball joint. And then your energy suspension kit is $40 per side, $80. So 80, 120. For $120, you get to have the good quality OEM steel, and you get to have the good parts on there instead of spending a lot of money to have a piece of shit steel upper or lower control arm that's not going to have good quality components in it, you know? And most of them that I see, you already got to do the rivets. So it's like, yeah, the rivets. I know you know what I'm talking about, but in case if you don't, this piece of shit that holds them in. Right there. This is actually the underside. But I mean, you know, people get scared of the rivets and they're a pain in the ass. You know, if you want to do the rivets with it on the car, you take a starret, S-T-A-R-R-E-T, a starret punch. Look them up on eBay. If you don't have one, it's man's best friend. You take your starret punch, you put it right in the middle, and it's spring-loaded. You get a nice little, you know, like you would with a hammer and an awl, except for it goes right where you want it. There's your starting point. You know, get yourself some good drill bits and, you know, start with like 1/8 of an inch and then work your way up. And like, once you do get to that point on the ball joints, let me get my little, you take something like this, you know what I'm saying? And I put vice grips on them so I don't whack my hand, but, put vice grips on it, hold it there, whack it with a hammer. And basically, did I throw them in the garbage already? What you're going to be looking for... Nah, where'd you go? Oh, man, that's making me mad. Now I lost them. I lost them in my rubble. Oh, well, I'll splice it in later. But at any rate, it's easy, man, you know, and it's even easier if you got a drill press. I put a 2x4 here, a 2x4 there, so that the ball joint stem can fit down the center, and I literally just hold the upper control arm. You know what I mean? You put your drill bit in, you line it up, you make more shit fall, and that's all you got to do, man. You drill them out, you know. The number one trick, don't use cheap drill bits. I mean, you're going to go through a gazillion cheap drill bits. You know what I mean? You got to use something good, like Chicago Latrobe, Champion. God, I'm overtired. I can't even think of the names. But like what I do, okay, there's a guy on eBay. Oh, I already put my drill bits back. But, yeah, let me grab my drill bits for you. Here you go, right? I'll even put it in the caption. I'll try to find the guy's name. But see, Fastenal actually uses a name brand drill bit, which I'll put on here too. It's like Victor or something, but it's not Victor. I haven't had to think about it in a while, so I can't remember. But there you go right there. That's 80 bucks. Okay, that's good quality bits. And I mean, the other stuff's good too. What I like about these is not only do you get your case, okay, but it's the same shit Fastenal's got. Only Fastenal wants 140 bucks. But what's nice is when you fuck up drill bits, you go to Fastenal and you replace them. You know what I mean? $4, $6, whatever. You're not going through bits that bad. You know, you do your initial investment for 80 bucks, which these are going to work way better than the stupid DeWalt shit that you see at Lowe's and Home Depot. Don't fall for that. You know, anything that says DeWalt on it nowadays is shit. DeWalt is not what they used to be. Their power tools can still hang, don't get me wrong, but all their other stuff, they're taking other stuff and just putting their name on it. Get quality drill bits, because I don't want to see you be that guy that can't do your own ball joint. It's like automotive 101 to know how to get these rivets out. And then once you do it, if you're keeping the car, you never have to do it again. You know what I mean? You never have to do it again because, you know, you're gonna put bolts in there and they're gonna fasten it and it's gonna be all good. So sorry to go off into a whole lecture, but somebody there might appreciate that because I know those things suck. You know, I'm 40. I've been doing this for a long time. I remember drilling ball joints when I was 16, 17 and, you know, trying to use my dad's wood bits, and before I even knew the relationship between all the different types of metals and metallurgy and all that kind of stuff, you know, and it can be a real pain in the ass. At least back in those days, though, shit was cheap. You know, even if you had to buy cheap bits, you know, you could get 4 or 5 for $1. But I don't know, man. I'm going to stop rambling. But that's the trick. That's the trick. It worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you. So A bodies, it should be very similar. Or B bodies. Yeah. Okay, A bodies, G bodies, S10s, same shit. B bodies, you know, going to be similar, but the AR might be a little different, but it'll be similar. The same trick will work, trust me. You guys take care. Okay, I lied, I'm back. I figured why not show you the other side, right? I'm going to do it anyways. So, you know, same thing. Same thing. We just reversed everything. I'm going to try to be the one-hand bandit here again. Which, again, if you didn't have to be one-handed, it's a little easier. But see, you could see that going. Bam. Look at that. Oh, I got to start keeping my tripod in here. I get busy and it's like, I don't have time to record 90% of the shit I do, you know. But every now and then, like this. You know, I've never done control arm bushings before. I've done more ball joints and shit that I can count, but I've just never had to. And it's like these G's and S's, and you know, they're getting just old enough now to where it's like they're starting to matter. You know, the rubber's starting to get old, and it's like, fuck it, you know, we'll put polyurethane in them. Lose a little bit of ride quality, but this one's not even popping, huh? It's just coming out nice. That's the side already heated up, though. Keep that in mind. So probably not a big rust barrier that had the break. Okay. We'll just go ahead and let it fall this time. Or catch it. Throw that in the rest of my mess. God, I'm embarrassed of that. Normally it's not that messy, but I'm not going to lie. You know, with YouTube not... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Huh? Oh, let me get the camera up. Bam. There you go. There she is. There she is, you know. Just like that. But yeah, I never had to do these before, you know. And I mean, I may look again and see if there's an actual special tool. Because I could actually picture something that would work really, really, really nice. You know, I mean, if you had something that could clamp onto this flat part, you know, and then come around, it would make life a lot easier. You could just pull the whole thing out. I've never stumbled across one. Otherwise, I would have just bought it. Not too many tools I don't own at this point, but, you know, go ahead and use the little thingamajiggies. You know, use the pullers. It works. Alrighty, we're doing these lower control arms. The uppers weren't too bad, but these lowers are going to be fun. Alrighty, when you go to do these lower control arm bushings, basically, you're going to have a shorter bushing, and it's fat, and then you're going to have a longer bushing, and it's narrow, okay? These are a lot harder than the top ones because, well, for one thing, the short one, it's not stepped. The whole entire thing, you know. Whereas this one, if you could kind of see that line right where the edge of my finger is, this one's stepped. So it's going to hold here, and it's going to hold here on two different steps. What makes these hard is the lip does not stick out like the top one, so you can't start off with a puller. And this is real thin, and it's flush. When this is in the control arm, it's flush. So you don't have that 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch that you can just use an oversized socket or washer and push it. It's got to be perfect. Right on. Let me show you here. This is what I got so far. I got 7/16 rod that I got from Tractor Supply with a 7/16 nut, a little bit of a washer buildup. I'm using the small cup, either for small ball joints or what you basically use to press ball joints back in on the lower. And then I got an impact socket over here that fits. First, I'm just pushing the bushing out. I was hoping I'd get lucky and the whole thing would give, but of course that didn't happen that way. It's just pushing the bushing out. But that's at least a good step forward because I do have a socket that I think is going to fit that lip. I mean, there's not a lot of room. I'll show you on the other one here. It's flush. All that right there is flush. So, I mean, it's got to be perfect. But at any rate, worst case scenario, if you get the bushings out, you could play with the arbor press. That may make it a little easier because naturally for the arbor, you need it to go through. But let me go ahead and finish popping this off. Alrighty, we had a failure on that. It, of course, being grade 5 steel, the threads didn't hold. That sucks. I don't have easy access to a nice grade 8 or a hardened full threaded rod. You know, I initially started off with the 1/2 inch because I figured that fatigue would be a problem on the threads. And I got this far with it initially, The issue I had was the 1/2 inch didn't fit through the 3/4 inch sockets. So my issue was I had to build up washers, and I pushed it as far as you can see with the washers, and I ran out of washers. So it looks like I'm just gonna have to use 2 inches worth of washers to be able to push that out. I ran back and just got the smaller thread because I figured I'd be better off pushing with sockets anyways. But looks like I should have grabbed washers while I grabbed the thread. That didn't take much for that 7/16 thread to give out. So those suckers are in there. That thing's already halfways out, and the 7/16 grade 5 rod was no match for it. So yeah, go ahead, use a fucking air chisel, see where it gets you on something that's good and seized in like that. Okay, so I said my 3/4 inch sockets, I was wrong on that. I meant my 1/2 inch. I am gonna try one of my actual 3/4 inch sockets with the 1/2 inch thread. This one right here, it actually steps down and then it catches where I think it may actually work. So either I'm going to get it stuck in there or it's going to work, but we're going to try a 7/8 here and see what happens. So let me chuck that up. Alrighty, back to the 1/2 inch rod using the big socket. Not very good light there. I don't know if my flashlight will give you enough to see, but that may do the trick. You know what sucks? The other side's fine, but for some reason on this side, GM, oh, what do they call that? Like when you take a spindle nut and you put a little dent in it so it doesn't want to come out. They did that on all 4 corners. If you picture 4 corners on a circle. So it's got to press that straight too. Makes it a little more difficult. Let's see if this will work. Alrighty, we're going to attempt to remove the lower control arm bushings on an S10 92. So yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass. This is one of those easier to just take it into the shop and have them press them out type things, but I want to try to figure it out, and I want to try to do it without burning out the bushings. So we'll see if this works. So far what I have chucked up here, 7/16 rod with of course the 7/16 nut, and some washers and a 21mm socket. That one just so happens to be an impact socket, but I like the way it fit. So plan A here is just to get the bushing out, the rubber bushing. On the other side here I got the either a real small ball joint cup or the cup that I usually use to put them back in, ball joints back in. So yeah, I could have taken the time to trim the rod down, but having it go all the way through kind of keeps it a little bit centered and easier to rig everything up. So far I pushed it halfways out, and literally, let me get my flashlight here. I didn't think that I was going to have to stabilize it just to get the bushing out, but you can see right there where it shifted and it bent that part in. So I took some of the threaded rod, lapped it off, and I made this with 2 nuts. So you can, you know, basically eyeball it, mark it, cut it, and then put 2 nuts out and back them off to make it hold in. That was my original plan for pressing them back in, or at least pressing out the cups. I didn't think just pushing the rubber bushing out would bend it, but it did. So that was impressive. So I would recommend doing that right from the get-go. But I'm halfway pushed out, and I'm going to go ahead and keep pushing. Okay, that was successful. Sorry, I'm not tripoded, but there you go. That at least pushed the bushing out. So that was successful. Okay, so to add injury to insult, GM thought they'd be cute, and they staked it. Literally like you would see maybe on, you know, Asian wheel bearing nuts. But stake, 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 and underneath. So if you basically divided the circle into 4 corners, they staked it. So we got to push it hard enough that we're gonna bend the stakes back in, make it round again. And my plan is, if you could see, there's like not a whole lot sticking out, you know, maybe like a 32nd. So I'm going to take this flat washer and see if I can't push it to at least break the stakes down, and then we'll try to get a cup or a socket or something to push it the rest of the way. So basically using the same thing we did before, only the socket's gone, and I'm using a couple big flat washers to just try to push it flush.